Hey guys! I usually don't do these types of videos, but you all know that I'm a Nintendo fanboy and the Mario movie just came out, so it's a perfect opportunity to do a lazy, uncut movie review in the car, right after I watched it. Well, I watched it yesterday and I drove back to the theater parking lot to film this after realizing I can profit from it. So let's go! Man, I want to die after saying that. I would also give spoiler warnings, but there really isn't much to be spoiled on. If you played a Mario game, its plot is probably just as deep as the Mario movie plot. If you also watched every trailer they put out, you saw about half the movie already. The opening would have been a lot better if it wasn't the very first trailer they showed us with the penguins and Jack Black. Speaking of him, just like all the other NPCs, I gotta agree that his performance was the best. I could barely tell it was him until he started singing, which was one of the best scenes in the movie, and I despise musicals. I'm so glad it wasn't a musical like some rumors suggested. The rest of the voice cast did great too. The only person I could distinctly hear was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. But when you hire Seth Rogen, you know you want the Seth Rogen voice. Runtime is short, but the scenes didn't drag on for too long, so it's good for people like me that grew up in the age of short attention spans. I don't think I got bored. It was almost non-stop action and bright colors. I'll be honest, at first I was worried about the critic scores, but I realized most of them aren't kids or grown virgins, and that's who the movie is targeted for. In this Nintendo virgin's opinion, it was fun and good, but it did not amaze me. But I'm glad I stayed alive long enough to be able to see it. I also was a small minority that decided to see it for the first time in 3D. The last time I watched a 3D movie was a Shrek one where he wishes not to be married or something like that. And I gotta say that the 3D enhanced the experience and made some scenes more exciting. So I recommend watching it in 3D. And now, here are some things that I didn't like. For one, that Blue Luma character that appears way too many times in the movie and added nothing, and the first one or two jokes about wanting to die were funny, but then it became annoying and unfunny after like the 10th death joke from him. Oh yeah, some actual spoilers now. I thought that character was gonna be a gateway to a Mario Galaxy movie sequel, but I highly doubt it after that mid-end credits scene. And when I was walking to my theater, I was spoiled on that because I clearly heard a Yoshi coming from another theater where the movie was ending. Good thing there was a lot of flashy colors on screen that made me forget about it until it happened for our theater. But honestly, who cares? It was already shown that Yoshis exist in that world, so it wasn't shocking to know that Yoshi is gonna be in the second movie. It was disappointing Yoshi wasn't in this movie. The bigger shock is that a second movie is confirmed, but most of my theater didn't know that because 85% of the theater was gone after the fun credits ended and the boring credits started. It was just me and some neckbeards. It really did not have to be at the very end of the boring credits. One thing I'll give the Sonic movies, don't worry, I'll trash talk them later, is that their end credit scenes weren't actually at the very end of the credits and they were way more hype. Also, unlike some other YouTube reviewers, I didn't mind the licensed music. They're common in a lot of other movies, and they're catchy, so no complaints there.